Kevin McCarthy is the favorite to win. I bought 800 shares in Jim Jordan and I'm losing all my money. Because I was just like, it's not so much about thinking Jim Jordan's going to win, but that here's how the prediction market works. You buy a share in Jim Jordan for 6 cents. If something happens that makes it seem like he might win, he'll go up to like 15 cents. And then you can sell the share and make money off of it. That's how buying shares works. I don't think it's going to be Kevin McCarthy. I mean, I think there's a strong chance it will be, but I'm not entirely convinced. I don't know what'll happen.
This is an alternate timeline, so Trump 100% could become it because everything that has existed 100%. Somebody, I fully believe someone time traveled, stepped on a butterfly and or a bug, and what we're living is 100% an alternate timeline. I'm a big Back to the Future guy, and 100%. I'm not endorsing this by any means, but if I had to put my money on Trump, Rachel, if you're listening, can you put some money on Donald Trump? Because I definitely...
He's in there. Look at this. 2 cents.
You can make a lot of money.
According to what's gone on the last 2 years, anything that's improbable is possible.
Do you think that CERN smashing particles is causing people to like manifest reality in more wild ways?
The fact that I know what you're asking is scary. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that anyone listening knows what you're asking is scary. So
everybody knows, dude. So now here's the question. Why do people think it's true? There must be something going on, right? Conspiracy theory 101.
Rapid consciousness fluctuation, but the internet also is probably a bigger culprit and the reason for that. Internet video, the mass formation that comes out of that.
Let me get a question. Comment in the chat. 1, if you want Donald Trump to be Speaker of the House.
Comment 1.
I'm going to comment it, dude, because I want to have some fun this
year.
year.
Press number 2 if you want Ronald McDonald to be Speaker of the House.
I'm rocking
1 or number 2.
And
Which
3,
one?
And type in
for me, it's 2.
3 if you want Donald Trump in a Ronald McDonald suit.
No.
As Speaker of the
Don't
House.
make it too complicated.
Ironically, Trump would vote Ronald McDonald. That's like, so I think he would agree.
This is you guys don't realize this is 4D chess. And Donald Trump is going to be named Speaker of the House. That's right. He's going to be the unity candidate. All the Democrats and the Republicans will come together. The Democrats are going to be like, listen, if Trump's Speaker, we have something to campaign against and fundraise off of. And the Republicans are like, we just like Trump.
Like, how do you align politically, Rez?
Yeah, I grew up, whether it's right or wrong, I grew up, everything was the Republicans. I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching, I love you. Everything was a Republican. Everything was Bush's fault. Everything was a Republican's fault. As soon as Obama, oh my God, a black man, I voted Obama. I had to. Well, liberal. That's how I was. I grew up my whole life like that. And that's just still who I am. I'm a very open-minded, loving dude. I think everyone has their right to live the most left as they want in their household, or the most right as they want in their household. But in recent times with COVID and vaccine mandates, people started telling me I was a far-right extremist because I was against mandates, and that was really the first thing that stamped it for me. It was never Trump. It was never Republicanism or conservatism or anything like that. And for whatever reason, just the left started calling me a racist, right-wing fascist because I was against mandates, which to me was very liberal to be like, choose what you want. And I thought I found myself on like a strange side of events with everything I said, everything I tweeted, every song I made. And I ended up, I'm the only rapper that performed on the Lincoln Memorial. There was like 50,000 people. That's a crazy thing that I can say now. I'm blessed, thank God. But because of mandates and COVID and lockdowns and these events that I was performing at, I stopped performing in venues because of mandates and testing and requirements. And I ended up performing in front of like doctors, and I'm touring with like Malone and all these. Life is crazy, man. It's insane. So
they said,
so you're saying high res for Speaker.
Anyone at this table would probably, the people that don't want to be in politics would do better than the people in politics. Anyone here who doesn't, I don't want to be, I'd rather someone who doesn't want to be in politics be in politics.
I want to point out everybody put ones in the chat supporting Donald Trump for Speaker. No, I know. But like, here's the thing: people are commenting about Trump. He's endorsing Kevin McCarthy. Do you really want Trump to be the guy? What about Ron Paul? You know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna start pulling names,
Ron Paul or Rand Paul? I don't even know who Ron Paul is. Rand
Ron,
Paul.
Are you serious?
You got to leave right now. We're kicking you out.
Ron is Rand's dad.
Dude,
he is the guy you got to know.
I don't know. I'm not a No, I became political when they told me I'm an extremist.
We should talk about Ron Paul. He's like the OG, the libertarian guru of the day, and his son is Rand.
Yeah, if you like Rand.
He actually invented Rand Paul.
Wow. Yeah. I love Rand. I just posted him on shit.
Manifested Rand Paul.
I love Rand Paul.
He's a doctor.
With a woman.
I love Jim Jordan. I love Rand Paul. Just like everyone in this table.
When Bush was destroying this country, one of the few people standing up against him was Ron Paul.
Wow, what a legend.
From the Republican Party.
100%.
And he started to run for president in 2008. Luke, you said at some point he didn't make the ticket, I think did he try to get on the ticket and then he didn't get enough votes? Is that what it was?
Well, he got cheated, especially when it came to a lot of the way that the corporate media reported on him, the polling, the numbers. It was a rigged game against him from the very beginning. But he got more support from active U.S. military service members than any other candidate that was running in all of those elections. He made the debate stage, and he did talk about a lot of ideas that resonated with a lot of people. But of course, he was pushed down by the establishment and kind of pushed away from the general public as much as they could push him away.
I just want to point out that Hakeem Jeffries has a lower predicted price per share than Elise Stefanik. Like, there's no reason to believe Stefanik would be Speaker of the House for any reason, and Hakeem Jeffries is actually in second place, and people are convinced he ain't going anywhere near that Speaker suite.
Through this site, can I sell 2 Donald Trump tokens for a Hakeem Jeffries token? Like, can you trade
I don't know
stock or whatever these are? Or do you just sell them out?
You just sell them and buy and sell.
Yeah, you buy and sell.
All right.
U.S. currency.
Ron Paul was like huge on auditing the Federal Reserve when he was running, and people I think didn't really understand what that meant. So it was a hard sell, and other people were like, "No, emotions. The first black president. No more war. Like emotional stuff." And Ron was also extremely anti-war.
Anti-war for liberty, for the First Amendment, was pushing back against the national security state. Pretty much everything he warned about has come true in the most awful, horrible ways. So yeah.
No, I was going to say, look at this. Ron DeSantis is the favorite for the GOP nomination. At this point, I agree. Donald Trump coming out for McCarthy, bad. These Freedom Caucus guys, Matt Gaetz, Boebert, saying no to Donald Trump. Think about how crazy that is. A couple of years ago, you defied Trump. You were done.
Right.
Now Trump comes out and he's like, listen, Kevin McCarthy's the guy. And they're like, nah, sorry, Trump. Sad. Sad.
I feel like he missed an opportunity to get back on Twitter. What's he doing? Like, they gave him
He's retired.
a green light.
He's retired.
And he was just like, no, I'm better than that.
Dude,
better than what, dude?
Even if I was him, I would go on and I would be like, come to truth. That's it. Just go tweet some shit.
I am less than half Donald Trump's age, but I'm around half his age, and I can totally understand wanting to get away from all of this stuff.
Yeah, but
it's
then
crazy.
stop collecting money. Then stop
And stop
fundraising.
campaigning.
Stop
He's
taking people's
campaigning.
money and be like, hey, I'm going to save you guys. I'm gonna fix the country. I'm going to do this for you guys.
The man still wants his golden toilets. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We saw his tax returns.
You don't believe he believes his own hype. You don't believe that he genuinely believes he's going to win and he's going to run. You don't.
Nope.
You think it's campaign money and it's whatever.
I think he's winding things down. My personal opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm completely wrong, is you do not, as an America First Trump candidate, endorse Kevin McCarthy. You don't do it. Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting roasted on her social media for repeatedly endorsing McCarthy. Every comment, you pull up her Instagram, every single comment is like, Marjorie, don't do this. Why are you doing this? For Donald Trump himself to be like, the guy who called me a Putin puppet and claimed I'm responsible for January 6th, yeah, I'm going to endorse him. Everybody's just like, what? That's just like ending your political career right there.
And it's a problem with the House as it's set up. Like, Marjorie, in my opinion, if her constituents are telling her to vote a certain way, she should vote that way. The problem with social media is that it could be Chinese bots telling her to vote a certain way, so she doesn't know who her constituents are, which is why I look towards smart contracts. So like we could represent ourselves instead of Marjorie making the decision.
So are you for smart contract voting?
I would love to do stuff
voting?
like that. Yeah, I want it like as like a third part in addition to what we have. I want it on the blockchain or like on 7 blockchains.
So it has to be close. I agree.
And we could do like a smart contract. So instead of like we have 440 representatives in the House of Representatives, we'd have like one representative, Marjorie Taylor Greene, has 700,000 constituents. Right. Why don't all 700,000 people put on a blockchain, yay or nay? Who do they want to support? And then the winner of that sector will go to that person.
It would be so easy, man. I don't know how many people know about this. I'm not going to tangent off, but KYC, you know your customer. So each representative, we KYC, we know who's who. It's impossible. Even if there's bots and other things, we know which address comes from which vote. Right. We saw it in real time, and now we know what's real and what's not. And it's probably a lot harder when there's 80 million people, 100 million people. When we start talking in the hundreds of, as far as citizens voting for a president, it's a different story. But as far as for things like this, we 100% could start that. And I know I've seen, especially with my fans, I've seen both sides of it, where my more Republican fans are like, you're welcoming the New World Order with central digital, with they're scared of everything. Anything that's progressive, they're scared of. And then my more left fans are like welcoming it like it's delicious. You know what I mean?
I gotta read this Chip Roy quote. Will Staken says, Chip Roy returning to meeting with McCarthy and others, quote, I am open to whatever will give me the power to defend my constituents against this godforsaken city.
What? Who said that?
Chip Roy. It's amazing. Chip Roy's great.
I got to look him up.
Yeah, DC's a garbage town full of garbage people. Not
Yeah.
every single person. I'm saying it's the politicians.
I thought that
That's where they go.
Charlie Kirk talking about decentralizing the RNC was really interesting. Taking it out of Washington, D.C., moving
Yeah.
it all around
Yep.
the country so that if people want to go bribe their local authorities or their local Republican, they got to fly around to do it and take a day off, 2 days of travel. And it's like you can't just pop over to K Street. I don't really know all the terminology around there. K Street's like
agree.
a political street where everybody hangs out.
Lobbyists, and then you got the steakhouses. You want to meet a politician, a lobbyist? Go to one of the steakhouses in D.C. What's that famous one? I think we ate there before. Didn't we go there, Luke, for a book signing and we met Bernie Sanders or something?
A long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And then Bernie was super rude and mean.
Oh, he was?
He notoriously is. This is why Tulsi decided to endorse Biden because
Get out of my way, Luke. I want steak.
And you were like,
he was
sorry.
walking out. He was walking out. He's super mean, super grumpy.
Yeah, he punched Luke in the face. Luke flew back 20 feet.
Is that why you're
Not
practicing
him.
self-defense?
Not,
Bernie the whole time.
That was
No.
a joke. That was a joke.
Oh, yeah.
For legal
you
reasons.
like Bernie Sanders?
he sold out. He kissed the ring of power. He has a brown nose from being up Hillary Clinton's you know what. He, of course, used to talk about the Koch brothers' plans. He's not talking about that anymore. And essentially, he's a career establishment politician that's playing the game. And the more the politicians play the game, the more obviously a lot of people lose respect for them, and rightfully so. If you supposedly stand for one issue and are saying that you're going to help people with this specific issue, and then you backtrack on all of that because you want to make a deal for something else that's going to benefit you, sorry, you're a scumbag, you're a liar, you're someone that's two-faced, and that's how politics is played, and that's what a lot of politicians do, and this is why I'm skeptical of all politicians. Even when Ron Paul was running, again, I was even skeptical of Ron Paul. Even said critical things of him because we didn't always, agree, but that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be questioning each other. We're supposed to be having the best ideas. Let the best idea win. But I think the more decentralized, the more honest, the more accountable a politician could be, the better. And sadly, we have the exact opposite of that. We have a system, we have a swamp, and even the people who are claiming to drain the swamp are becoming one of the biggest swamp monsters, a part of this larger, nefarious, sociopathic, insane pool of sass and crap.
This is what I'm saying. If I was in Congress, I see a super chat where someone's like, Roberto Jr. would be a better speaker. I would legit nominate my rooster.
Yeah.
Like, here's the point. Someone's got to stand up and just basically say, this is a circus. It is a clown show. At first, they were just like, we're not going to vote for McCarthy. We'll vote for anybody else. And the first vote, they kind of vote randomly. Then Gates nominates Jim Jordan. Everybody votes Jim. All the defectors vote for Jim Jordan. Today, it was Byron Donalds. I'd go up there and be like, dude, all I'm saying is I got this handsome ass rooster named Roberto Jr.
He
And
tall.
he will do nothing wrong. He won't take your money. He won't steal the taxpayer dollars.
He won't lie.
He won't argue with you. In fact, he won't say a single word to you. I'm going to vote for him.
Hey guys, put a 5 in chat if you want Tim to run for Congress.
No,
and a
what
6
joking.
if you want him
Roberto
not
Jr.
to. Well, no, you got to get into
6.
Congress to appoint
That's
Roberto
not
Jr.
happening.
The people
No.
who don't want to be in Congress would do the best.
That's what I'm talking about. Would you ever do
100%.
Congress?
No.
Put a
Which means I would do the best.
Put a buck in chat if you think Roberto Jr. would be a better speaker than any of the Republicans or Democrats.
But my question isn't really, do you want to do Congress? Because I know you guys are all pretty much like, I don't want the power. That's how I feel. But would you?
It's like such a strange question, man. I would never say no to anything except the obvious. I'm a straight
Well, let me-
male. I would be with my wife. So
Let me ask you the same question in a different way, Ian. Would you be willing to stand in a room full of swamp monsters who are going to beat you over the head with a stick for 2 years?
No. I mean, I guess if we needed to.
And I don't mean figurative swamp monsters. I mean like actual swamp thing.
Oh,
with, like,
Lord.
and literally
just
get
hitting
beat in
you.
the head with a stick. So everything's literal. Nothing's.
Here's a better one. Would you be willing to let a swamp monster infect you with swamp monster disease to turn you into a swamp monster? I'm not going anywhere near that.
In order to try to
It's
save
like-
the world?
It's like
That's a tough one.
playing
Let the
Fallout
darkness in.
and then going into the
Fallout.
crater where all the radiation and super mutants are.
I've done it.
I'm not. No,
played all the
I've
Fallouts.
been there.
No,
It's not as bad
the
as you
first
think.
two. Not the
New Vegas?
Yeah, the new ones.
my
Yeah,
favorite one.
You like New Vegas?
Yeah,
Once
I
you
think
get into
Fallout
that
3 was the
cloud,
best.
The 4, there's the giant
4 is
cloud.
incredible.
Of,
4 is incredible.
3 is the best.
you can live in a radiated wasteland for a little while, especially if you have a lot of rad X
Collect
on
some
you.
bottle
I'm seeing a
caps
lot of
and some,
5s and bucks.
clothespins.
They want you, Tim. But your answer, Tim, yeah, I would. I would let the darkness in because I think I'm strong enough mentally, just having gone through social media the last 12 years and bearing my soul and getting ripped down and then building myself back up.
You ever see The Matrix when Agent Smith tries to infect Neo, and then he sticks his hand in Neo's chest, and then Neo starts turning into a Smith, but then all of a sudden reverses it and then blows up Smith. That's what it would be like. The DC swamp would grab Ian and they'd stick it, and he'd be like,
Are you
And then he-
infecting me or am I infecting you?
And then all of a sudden, like we're watching the C-SPAN, and everyone in the house is wearing purple bell bottoms, and they're all like, talking about graphene.
Who is it?
People are
Graham
running and
Hancock.
screaming, and like the Ians are grabbing people and biting them and turning them into Ian.
Rick and Morty episode.
Graham Hancock
Yeah.
thinks every politician should do 10 heroic experiences with ayahuasca before they take office.
I think that's, while I don't agree, it's probably the most intelligent thing a politician's ever said.
No, it's Graham Hancock. He's a writer.
Okay.
And kind of an he's not an archaeologist, but he's like an adventurer.
He should be a politician.
Historian.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.